Hi, folks. I thought I'd offer a few tips on improvising over minor blues. I released a melody video on John Coltrane's Mr. PC over this last weekend, and I released a podcast episode talking a bit about chord shapes and pentatonics to help outline the changes of the minor blues. So in this video, I will show you 3 scales that will help you work through the changes. So we're working with C minor blues here. We have, let's see, a C minor 7 chord, say an F minor 7 chord. We do have a scale that will fit both of those, and that's the natural minor scale. So C natural minor. Now, as you play, the rhythm section will have F minor 7 or C minor 7, and you're pulling from the same note collection. So the notes will react to those chords differently. So, for example, if you're playing in A flat on a C minor 7, it's going to feel pretty dissonant. And that doesn't make it wrong. It's just a little outside of that sound. So it may serve as a note that you might play on the end of the beat, or if you're playing on the beat, make sure you're hearing it and make sure you're aware of the dissonance and you have some intention behind it. But the F is gonna fit really nice, so that note will tend to want to kind of gravitate in a sense towards the G. Now when we're working with C natural minor and we're on the F minor 7, that same A flat, for example, is going to sound really inside that sound. So the main takeaway on that is awareness of how those individual 7 notes interact with the chord that's being played in the rhythm section. What you may want to do is loop C minor 7 for a while and then survey through each one of the notes of the C natural minor scale. Listen to it and get a sense for how it sounds with the chord. So just repeat that process through each of the 7 notes. Same thing with F minor 7. Like we mentioned earlier, the same note collection, but we have a different chord in the rhythm section, so the notes will react differently. So go ahead and loop F minor 7, survey each one of the 7 notes from the natural minor scale, C natural minor scale, and get your ear conditioned to hear how each one fits. Okay, so the natural minor scale will not fit as a whole on each one of the chords in this chord progression. One way to handle this is to simply choose notes that do work with the given chord. So let's say when we have the A flat 7, then of course C is going to sound well with that. B flat, E flat, to name a few. So you can use your ear to just navigate to those tones within the C natural minor scale that are consonant with the sound. But let's take that A flat 7 and see if we can dig a little deeper. So there's a shell voicing there. So you can play something like that, get it in your ear first. Now we're going to make a little bit of a change to the natural minor scale. So we kept all the notes except we lowered the G to a G flat. So again, play the chord A flat and A flat 7, and then go ahead and play the natural minor scale with a lowered 5th. Okay, so we only changed one note, and now we have a note that sits inside of that A flat 7, the G flat, which is the flat 7 of that chord. So far, we're through almost the whole tune here. We just have one more chord. Notice we only changed one note in our scale. Now let's get into the G7. Okay, now keep in mind, the aim of this video is to get you up and running with quick and easy ways to adapt your C minor scale to fit some of these chords. What we're going to do here is take the natural minor and adjust it in a similar way, but in a different direction. So play natural minor up to the 5th, and this is where we depart. Play something called melodic minor. So let me play that in full for you. Okay, so we've taken the A flat and made it into an A, and we've taken the B flat and turned that into a B. So we changed 2 notes. You see, when we have the G7, now we have a B natural. Okay, and that solves that issue because we don't have a leading tone in natural minor, so now we have the B from melodic minor. If it's helpful, try to relate this scale to a major scale with a flat 3rd, right? If it's C major, lowered the 3rd, which makes it minor, of course, and then carry on there with the major scale. If you did see my other video, the Mr. PC melody video, as the audio trails off, I played a little bit of the Coltrane line that led up to that. He played a 5 chord at the very end, or he implied a 5 chord at the very end of the form there. And so you can hear. And so on. But kind of my point here is at the beginning, he plays G, A, B, and D, right? What do we have at the from the G on the melodic minor? G, A, B, C, and of course you can go up above to the D, so it's like he's playing and then landing on the C. Okay, so that covers 3 scales, all anchored in C minor, that you can use to work through the changes to a minor blues, whether it be Mr. PC or another minor blues. They often follow this same form and progression. My aim is to keep this really simple, 3 scales to get you started. But if you're interested in more options, check out the supplemental video that I made on this. Link to that is in the description down below. Please try out these 3 scales that I mentioned in this video with a backing track, and then let me know how they worked for you in the description down below. If you find this video helpful, please hit the like button and subscribe to keep up with new releases and live streams. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one.